Have you ever seen a piece of clothing that could speak? I don't just mean make a fashion statement, but actually communicate a deep philosophical idea. Today, we're exploring Adinkra cloth from the Ashanti people of Ghana, a textile that carries centuries of wisdom in its very threads. At first glance, yeah, this is a beautiful, intricate textile. But you gotta look closer. Every single one of these stamped patterns is part of an ancient visual language, a whole system of communication carrying centuries of wisdom, proverbs, and history. So, if this cloth is actually speaking, then what's it saying? What messages does it hold? What stories are woven, or I guess stamped, into its very fibers? That's the mystery we're here to unravel. Right, so this isn't just about decoration. You have to think of Adinkra as an ancient writing system. And we're talking about a vast vocabulary here, over 500 distinct symbols, each one representing a complex idea, a historical event, or just a piece of timeless advice. These symbols are basically visual shorthand for core Asante values. They take these huge abstract ideas like unity or patience and turn them into concrete forms you can literally wear. For example, a chief on a peace mission might wear a cloth with a symbol called Obinkabi. It means bite not each other, a pretty direct message to avoid conflict, wouldn't you say? To really understand this language, we need to learn some of the vocabulary. So let's decode a couple of the most powerful and common Adinkra symbols. Okay, check this one out. This symbol immediately catches your eye, doesn't it? We see two crocodiles with separate heads, but they're joined at the stomach. Now, this isn't just a cool design, it's a riddle. What could this strange creature possibly represent? This symbol is known as Funta Mariku Denchi Mariku. It comes from a proverb about these very crocodiles fighting over food, but forgetting they both feed the same stomach. It's such a brilliant way to illustrate a universal truth. Even when we disagree, we share a common destiny. It's become this incredibly powerful symbol for unity and democracy. Our next symbol represents one of the most famous concepts in Asante philosophy, and it can be summed up in this simple but really profound phrase. This is Sankofa. It teaches that we have to look to the past to build a better future. Now, it's not about being stuck in history. It's about reaching back to reclaim the wisdom that helps us move forward. So powerful. So we've seen what it is, but that, of course, leads to the next big question. How did this whole tradition even begin? Where does the story of Adinkra cloth start? While the origin of Adinkra is absolutely fascinating, and like many great traditions, its story begins not in peace, but with conflict, a battle, and a really unexpected cultural exchange. Okay, so picture this. Early 1800s, a king named Adinkra makes a fatal mistake. He tries to copy the sacred golden stool, the ultimate symbol of the Ashanti nation. Well, the Ashanti king was furious and went to war. Adinkra was defeated, and the special patterned cloth he wore into battle was taken as a trophy. But here's the cool part. The Ashanti people didn't just capture the cloth, they captured the whole art form, made it their own, and expanded on it. And in a wild twist of fate, the name Adinkra came to mean farewell, which is why the cloth became so important for funerals. Knowing that history just makes you wonder, how is this incredible art actually made? Well, the physical process of creating the cloth is just as rich and meaningful as the symbols themselves. The whole process is completely rooted in nature. The deep dark ink, called Adinkra Aduro, is made by boiling tree bark with iron slag. The stamps themselves, painstakingly hand-carved from dried gourds. Then, on the cloth, a grid is carefully drawn with a comb-like tool for precision. Only then do the artists begin the final, almost meditative work of pressing this wisdom onto the fabric. And right here, you can see the art in action. On the left, you've got the tools. A whole collection of hand-carved stamps, each one a different word in this visual language. And on the right, you have the artist, whose skill transforms simple cloth into a masterpiece of communication. But this isn't just a history lesson, not by a long shot. Adinkra is not some relic of the past. It is a vibrant, evolving tradition that is just as relevant today as it was centuries ago. The tradition's evolution is really striking. I mean, historically, Adinkra was funeral wear, using these somber colors like dark reds and browns to express grief. But today, while it's still so important for mourning, its use has just exploded. Now you'll see Adinkra in a whole rainbow of bright celebratory colors, worn at weddings, festivals, and all kinds of special occasions. And here you can see that evolution side by side. On the left, a traditional cloth in that deep, somber red. On the right, a modern piece in a brilliant, joyful blue. The language is the same, but the tone has totally adapted for a new era. The influence of these symbols has also broken free from fabric. Today, in Ghana and all around the world, you'll find Adinkra symbols everywhere, carved into buildings, sculpted into statues, fired onto pottery, and inspiring modern art and graphic design. They've truly become a universal symbol of West African heritage. So when we look at Adinkra, we're seeing so much more than a textile. It's philosophy made tangible, a library of wisdom, and a cultural touchstone that continues to inspire. It's a language that is truly woven into the very fabric of society. Which leaves us with one final thought. If you could choose a single piece of wisdom to carry with you, to wear as a message to the world, whether it's unity, learning from the past, or something else entirely, what would it be? Makes you think, doesn't it?